Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from Hearth Story, and I'm here with a quick flip through of third grade spelling. So let's take a look. In third grade spelling, we are focusing on a few goals here. So we're looking at commonly misspelled words like we usually do. We're looking at commonly confused homophones, and we're looking at word roots. We're taking a first look at word roots here, and we get way into that in fourth and fifth grade, but we start that here. And then we're also looking at words that illustrate a spelling rule, a prefix, or a suffix, something that you would want to know that you can apply to more than just the words in the list. So these are the standards that we're meeting. We have, of course, a bunch of the language standards around spelling, and of course, a few of the reading foundational standards as well. And to work on this, you'll need the study guide, you'll need a pen and pencil, and then you'll need a lot of different supplies potentially for hands-on spelling practice, but I'll get into that in a minute. So here's what a typical week looks like. This is actually week 1 here. So on the first day, you, the parent or teacher, will be giving the child a pretest to see which words do they know. And not only do they know them, are they really confident? Are they really solid on those words? So you fill in all 10 words, and then you circle C for confident, I for iffy, and W for wild guess. And then any of the words that you either spell incorrectly or feel iffy or kind of wild guess about, those are going to be your spelling words for the week. So there's no need to keep drilling and, constantly repeating words that you clearly already know and you're very confident about. You don't have to waste time studying those. So that's what we do on the first day. That kind of gives us our words that we're working with. On the second day here in this week, and these vary every week, and here they're recopying their words in pencil, crayon, and marker just to practice. On the third day, there's usually a lesson about what's going on in that word list this week. So in week 1, we have pause and pause, 2 homophones, and of course there's the cat using pause to pause the remote. And they're, doing a little exercise to make sure they've got those straight. Then on the fourth day, they go into their final training, getting ready for that post-test. So this could be a whole bunch of different activities, and they vary throughout the course. So here we've just given for spell while skipping rope, writing your words in sand or in shaving cream or whatever else you're working with, writing them outside with sidewalk chalk, spelling while you're on a swing, and we have a whole bunch of different ideas here that the kids can, either try different ones or they can also stick with one. My son, when he was younger and he was studying spelling, he liked to balance a book on his head and then spell the words. And then if he dropped the book or messed up, he would start over. And that's what he liked doing every single week. He really didn't even want to change it up that much because that really worked for him. Finally, on the 5th day, they're going to be testing their knowledge with a post-test. So just testing on the words that they were working on all week and see how we're doing. And any that we are still not spelling correctly are going to go on their persistence list. So back at the beginning of the course, we have lists 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are persistence lists, and they come up every 5 lessons where we're returning to the words that were incorrect and trying again with those. So that gives you that little bit of spiral review there for the words that you were having trouble with. So I'll show you some of the other, here's an example of one of the day 2 ideas where it's raining words. So you write all of your words as a raindrop or as rain, and you can draw yourself if you want to. Here's another one on the second day where they're actually writing their words as they go through a maze and try to make their way out of it. Here's one where you draw each word as tiny as you can and then as gigantically as you can, given the space that you have. So it's just a different cute ways to practice your words and just feel comfortable using them in a kind of fun and friendly way. And here's that first persistence list. So now once you're done with day 5 of week 5, you're going to come in here and do persistence list 1. And that's just testing all of those words that you were having trouble with so far this year. And those are your words for the week. And then on the 3rd day of that one, there's a review. So we're looking about prefixes, suffixes, homophones, some of the words that you've learned so far. So there are 24 total lists. This is the last one, 24. Day 2 of that one, they're writing their book words comic book style. And then they take their last test. And then finally, they end with persistence list 5. All of the words that are still left, that are still having trouble with, are going to show up here. and then they get to the end, and that's about it. At the end, we of course have an answer key for every time there was a question asked. So that's there if you need it. And that's about it for third grade spelling. Pretty straightforward, very similar to fourth grade spelling and fifth grade spelling if you've seen those. But of course, it's just that the words are a little bit more straightforward for the younger kids. So that's about it. If you have any questions, please drop a comment and happy homeschooling.